So our big goal today is to find fractional parts. We talked in our warm-up about two different types of statements. We said that Ben's statement is an example of a ratio statement, and Kimmy's is an example of comparing with fractions. So we're going to move on today, and we're going to talk about finding a fractional part of a whole. With your partner, I would like for you to read. Winners, you get to do this part in pink, and non-winners, you get to do this part in green. Go for it. So crew, our big goals today are that we're going to find equivalent fractions, and that we're also going to compare fundraising progress of a grade to its fundraising goal using fractions. Okay. I need you guys to get out your lab sheets from yesterday, and on the back is lab sheet 1.40. We have the 6th grade, just the 6th grade progress up here. And over the course of a couple of days, they measured their progress. So day 2, day 4, day 6, day 8, and day 10, they saw how close they were to meeting their goal. Now their goal is up here, and that's $300. So by the end, they wanted to get up to $300. Take a seat, please. So let's start by looking at day 2. Tell your partner, what is your prediction for the fraction that they were able to accomplish after day 2? Quick, tell your prediction. 4. Okay, I heard you guys say a third, and I heard you guys say a fourth. And I see a lot of you guys using your fingers to figure this out. I like that idea. You're seeing how many times that part goes in. Yeah? Can I show you guys another strategy you might want to use? Yes. Okay. Now is a really great time to get out a piece of scratch paper. Okay, so it can just be like an old piece of in-class work, or if you have a little piece of scratch paper, that's a really great thing to use. Okay, I have this little piece of scratch paper here I'm going to use. Okay, all right. So I have to be really careful as I'm doing this, because at any time I touch the smartboard, it'll show little marks. So I'm going to be trying and be very precise, and I hope that you guys do the same thing. So with your fingers, I saw you guys measuring. So rather than using our fingers, which are not very precise, we're going to use a scratch piece of paper. Okay, put all of your stuff down and look up here. I'm going to take my piece of scratch paper, and I'm going to line it up the bottom with the bottom here, and then the side here. Okay, I'm going to have to do this with a pen. Okay, and then after I do it with the piece of paper to show you guys, I'm going to do something different on the smartboard. Okay, so here, all right. So on my piece of paper, I have marked how big that is. And now I'm going to see how many times a piece that size goes in. So it goes in 1, 2, 3, and 4. Did you guys see that? It went in 4 times. Okay? You can also do that with your piece of paper. I'm just going to show on the smartboard how I might do this. If I draw this little line here, and I can clone it. That's the whole goal, is to just be magic. Okay. So I can be a little bit more precise when I time smartboard. Okay. Cool. So now we want to figure out what fraction that actually is. So what fraction have they raised?
4.
1/4. Okay, so I'm going to write 1/4 over here on mine. You need to do the same thing. Now, our big goal today is to figure out how much money 1/4 of 300 is. Okay, do you guys see how I'm really being precise? I'm writing it right next to this line, so I know that this line is 1/4. Yours should be precise as well. Who has a strategy that we can use to figure out how much 1/4 of 300 is? Who has a strategy we could use to figure out how much 1/4 of 3/4 is? Yeah, Brea.
Tatum said it was 75.
Okay.
And so I was going to make sure, so I did 75 times 4, which equals 300, so it would be 75.
Okay, so we're thinking 75, and you double checked it, which is great. Tatum, thanks for giving her credit. Tatum, how did you get 75?
In my head, I was thinking it was 50, but 50 is 4 times 50 is 200.
Okay.
What's more than 50 but less than 100? And I just guessed 75.
Great. So you're trying to think of a number you can multiply times 4. Okay. So some number times 4 is equal to $300. Okay. Does anybody have a different strategy we can use? How about what we know about fact families? Yeah?
Could you do, since 4 times 20, which is multiplied 100, and that turns out like 4.
That would be 80. But I like that you were thinking of some ideas. Yeah, Ren?
300 divided by 4.
We could also do 300 divided by 4. And that would give us 75. Put my dollar signs in here. Can I show you guys another way with a ratio table? I told you that I'm wild about them. So I'm going to do part and whole. Okay? Take a seat, please. So I have my part and my whole. My whole is 4 pieces, and I have 1 out of those 4 pieces. Now I'm trying to get my whole up to $300. So I want to take 4 and I want to figure out how I can multiply it to get to 300. So I'm going to start by multiplying it by 25 to get to 100. Okay, so I have 25 over 100, but my whole is 300. Gentlemen, help us out. Multiply by 3. So I have 75 over 300. So that also supports our idea. Cool. All right. Let's do day 4. Let's go to day 4. Tell your partner your prediction for what fraction of their goal they have met. 1/3. Okay. Almost unanimously, I heard you guys say 1/3. Now, I would like you guys to use your scratch piece of paper to confirm that it is 1/3. Okay? While you guys are working, I'm going to check day 4. Okay, 1/3 looks great. How can we figure out how much money 1/3 of 300 is? How can we figure out how much? Yeah, Michaela?
Do a ratio table?
Sure. Do you want to help me set it up?
Yeah.
Okay, my part and my whole. What number is my part?
Your part is 1,
And what's my whole?
3,
3. And what do I need to get my whole up to?
300.
300. What should I multiply by?
50.
Can I do something else?
100.
Let's do 100. All right. So 1/3 would be $100. Looks good. Okay. I would like to do day 8. I want you to turn to your partner and tell them your prediction for what you think day 8 is.
Day 8.
Oh,
All right. I heard half and I heard 3/4. I want to make sure that you guys are looking at this one right here. It's not this one right here. Okay? So let's look at day 8. What strategy could we use? Yes, you're so excited.
Well, I saw them lined up like that one and 3/4 on day 2.
Oh, so you see 3/4 here? And so we could go across maybe? I like that. I wish that line was a little straighter. Does anybody have another strategy we could use? Yeah, Tyler.
Well, you could do the same thing on 1/4, just go
The opposite way? So could I take this right here? And see how many times that goes in? Okay. I'm going to draw a straighter line there. Okay, I'm going to see how many times this goes in here. I would like you guys to do the same thing with your piece of paper. So take care of that. Check that out. We have 3/4. So now we want to know, I love how precise you guys are being. We want to know how much money 3/4 is. Do you have a strategy?
Multiply 75 by 3.
Oh, I like it. Because if we know 1/4 is 75, then we can just multiply that by 3. What is 75 times 3? 225. Sounds good. Now, can we do this with a ratio table just to get in some good practice? Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to do my part and my whole. Crew, let's start with our whole. How many pieces has our whole been divided up into? 4. And how many pieces are shaded in?
3.
Oh, I'm not hearing everybody. How many pieces are shaded in? So much better. Okay, what do we want to try and get our whole up to?
300.
What do we want to try and get our whole up to?
300.
Yeah, because that's our goal, right? So let's do what we did before when we were dealing with 1/4. And let's multiply by 25. And we'll multiply the top by 25. Thanks for helping me with my math. And we'll multiply these by 3 to get our whole up to 300. And we get 225. All right, you have a little bit of work time. I would like you guys to start with day 10 and then go to day 6. All right, good luck. All right, let's look at day 10. What fraction did you find?
5.
Okay. And so, I saw a lot of you using, oops, there we go, some type of strategy like this. And so you worked backwards from what we had done before. Let's see how many times this goes in. And I was realizing as these pieces get smaller, you have to be really precise. There's one, oops, I'm going to move that. There we go. Stop moving. There we go. There's 4, 5, and 6. Woo! You did it. You did it. Okay, so let's go back and let's use a way that we can figure out what 5, 6 is. What strategy did you guys use?
That one.
What's that one?
Oh, the ratio.
You used the ratio table. Okay. So let's do our part and our whole. What's our part?
5.
And what's our whole?
6.
Okay. What are we trying to get our whole to?
300.
Okay. What did we multiply by to get to 300? 550. So let's do the same thing to the top. And we have 250. Sounds good. All right, this middle one here for day 6 is very tricky. Did anybody figure out a way to do it? Do you think? What did you guys think it was?
I think it was something 12.
Something 12ths? Okay. Okay. Yeah,
I have an idea. Was it 4 7?
that's a really close guess.
Was it 5
4
7?
5 8s. 5 8s.
I hear you guys saying values that are slightly bigger than 1/2. All right, I'm going to do this, and I have to be really precise because I mess this up sometimes when I'm not precise. So I'm going to look at this value here. Okay, so we know if we looked at our other ones, we know that it's bigger than 1/2, right? Okay. So I'm going to try and be really precise here. I'm going to take this, and then I have this little piece left over down here, okay? So I want to see how many times that little piece fits in. Okay? It's not like the rest of them. So I have 1, it's hard to do, I'm being really precise, 2, 3, 4, it's going to be close. I think 5, it's going to be a little bit. I mean, 6. Move all these down just a smidge. Okay, so it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many do you guys think will fit here?
4.
Make 4? Okay. There's 1.
Yeah, you're right.
2, 3.
There's a little spot. Oh.
Here, I think I just scooched them down a little bit. See how precise we have to be? Goes over just a little bit, but it's pretty darn close there. It's pretty close. So the thing is that this marker is just thick enough that it makes so it's not exact. So we can see that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces out of how many?
9.
Out of 9. Okay, so that's 5 9s. All right. So crew, I'd like a thumbs up, thumbs to the side, thumbs down, and it can be just a secret vote about how you feel about finding a fractional part of a whole. I can do it. I'm still a little shaky. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, very cool. Let's go ahead and check out your learning log today. So we had Mary used her 4th strips, I should say 2, are 4 measure, 2 measure, and label fractions and dollar amounts on day 2 of the thermometer below. Did she write the correct dollar amounts, and how do you know?